Hey everybody, welcome back. These are the best movies of 1945. These are the films that we love from 1945. This is Yesteryear, and today, let's get started. A royal scandal, comedy, drama, and history. In 18th century Russia, the naive and idealistic Lieutenant Chernov meets Empress Catherine the Great, who becomes infatuated with him and appoints him chief of the Imperial Guard. A royal scandal. 1001 Nights, adventure, comedy, and fantasy, tongue-in-cheek fantasy film set in Baghdad, and loosely based on 1001 Nights medieval story. In Technicolor, 1001 Nights. Bud Abbott and Lou Costello in Hollywood. You can't go wrong with Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. When two bumbling barbers act as agents for a talented but unknown singer, they stage a phony murder in order to get him a plum role. Bud Abbott and Lou Costello in Hollywood. Adventure, comedy, drama, and musical. Adventure, dark, romantic, complicated drama about a rowdy merchant mariner and sophisticated librarian who clash over their lifestyles and values, and then fall in love. Adventure, Clark Gable and Garson. Along Came Jones, comedy, romance, and western. A good-natured saddle tramp traveling with his sidekick is mistaken for a ruthless outlaw with a price on his head. Comedy, romance, and western. Along Came Jones. Anchors Aweigh. Comedy, fantasy, and musical. A pair of sailors on leave try to help a movie extra become a singing star. Anchors Aweigh. Frank Sinatra and Gene Kelly. Next up we have And Then There Were None. Crime, drama, and mystery and thriller. 7 guests, a newly hired secretary, and 2 staff are gathered at a manor house on an isolated island by an unknown absentee host, and are killed off one by one. And Then There Were None. That's a great movie. A Song to Remember. Biography, drama, and musical. Biography of Frédéric Chopin. Chopin, however you want to call it. That's another great movie. A Song to Remember. Chopin. Next up we have the feature film called Back to Bataan featuring John Wayne. Drama and war. In 1942, after the fall of the Philippines to the Japanese, U.S. Army Colonel Joseph Madden stays behind to organize the local resistance against the Japanese invaders. Back to Bataan. The Bells of St. Mary, very, very popular film back in 1945. At a big Catholic school, Father O'Malley and Sister Benedict indulge in friendly rivalry and succeed in extending the school through the gift of a building. The Bells of St. Mary, Ingrid Bergman and Bing Crosby. Blythe Spirit, comedy and fantasy. A man and his second wife are haunted by the ghost of his first wife. Blythe Spirit. Noel Coward's Blythe Spirit. In amazing, glorious Technicolor. Next up we have Blood on the Sun. A dedicated American reporter in 1930s Japan is determined to expose the government's plan for world domination. Drama, romance, and thriller. Blood on the Sun, featuring the legendary James Cagney. I love James Cagney. James Cagney. Brief Encounter, drama and romance. Meeting a stranger in a railroad station, a woman is tempted to cheat on her husband, so she may be slutty in this movie. So in 1945, this lady may become slutty and try to cheat with her husband. Brief Encounter. Captain Kidd, adventure, biography, and drama. The unhistorical adventures of pirate Captain Kidd revolve around treasure and treachery. Charles Laughton was really good as Captain Kidd. He also reprised his role with Bud Abbott and Lou Costello meet Captain Kidd. Christmas in Connecticut, Barbara Stanwyck and Dennis Morgan. Comedy romance. A food writer who has lied about being the perfect housewife must try to cover her deception when her boss and a returning war hero invite themselves to her home for a traditional family Christmas dinner. Confidential agent. In 1937, agents from the opposing sides of the Spanish Civil War traveled to the neutral UK to secure coal contracts and to undermine each other's efforts. Confidential Agent is a drama and thriller. Next up we have is Conflict. Humphrey Bogart, Alexis Smith, and Sidney Greenstreet. Conflict, drama and mystery thriller. An engineer trapped in an unhappy marriage murders his wife in the hope of marrying her younger sister. Ooh, that's pretty evil, huh? Conflict. Cornered. Dick Powell in Cornered. Drama, thriller, and mystery. Canadian flyer Lawrence Gerard finds that his wife has been murdered by a French collaborator. His quest for justice leads him to Switzerland and Argentina for revenge. Cornered. I got you now, bitch. Next up we have is Dakota. Drama and Western. In 1871, Dakota, true crooked businessman, opposed the local wheat farmers and the railroad development to control the town of Fargo. Dakota. Featuring John Wayne. Next up we have is Dead of Night. Drama, horror, thriller, and mystery. Guests invited to a weekend in the country share their supernatural stories, beginning with Walter Craig, who senses impending doom as his half-remembered recurring dream turns into reality. Dead of Night. Delightfully Dangerous. Comedy, musical, and romance. Young Sherry Williams dreams of having a singing career, and she idolizes her older sister Josephine, who has gone to New York to perform on the stage. Delightfully Dangerous, featuring June Powell. Dillinger, biography, crime, and drama. John Dillinger begins his life of crime as a petty thief, meets his future gang in prison, and eventually masterminds a series of daring robberies. Dillinger. The story is written in bullets, blood, and blondes. Story of G.I. Joe. Biography, drama, and war. At the close of World War II, Pulitzer Prize-winning war correspondent Ernie Pyle travels with the U.S. Army's Company C Division during their liberation of Italy. The story of G.I. Joe. This is where it all began, with the toys and everything. G.I. Joe. Escape in the Desert. Drama, thriller, and war. A Dutch flyer hitchhiking his way to the west coast to join his squadron stops at a lonely desert diner. Shortly after his arrival, a group of Nazis turn up, having escaped from a POW camp. Escape in the Desert. Escape in the Frog. Escape in the Fog. Adventure, mystery, and thriller. During World War II, an Army nurse on R&R in San Francisco, Rest and Relaxation, has a premonition about witnessing a murder attempt against a G-Man by Nazi agents. Escape in the Fog. Flame of Barbary Coast. Drama, musical, and romance. A cowboy competes with a gambling tycoon on the Barbary Coast for the hand of a beautiful dance hall queen. Flame of Barbary Coast. Next up, we have God is My Co-Pilot. Action, adventure, and biography. During World War II, notice all these films now are about World War II, you notice? American volunteer pilots are stationed in China where, as part of the Flying Tigers unit, they dogfight against Japanese warplanes. God is My Co-Pilot. Hangover Square. Crime, drama, and musical. A promising classical musician finds his life poisoned by a musical hall dancer and by the strange gaps in his memory. Hangover Square. Linda Darnell and George Sanders. Here Come the Coeds featuring Abbott and Costello. Comedy. Two bumblers become caretakers at an all-girls college. During their misadventures, the duo raises money to free the school from its traditionally minded landlord. Abbott and Costello, Here Come the Coeds. I love Abbott and Costello. Nobody loves Abbott and Costello. House of Dracula. Fantasy, horror, and sci-fi. The Wolfman and Count Dracula beg Dr. Edelman to cure them of their killing instincts, but Dracula schemes to seduce the doctor's nurse. So Dracula is back, and the Wolfman. Kitty, an 18th century London wench, gets involved with the nobility. Kitty, this is a drama, history, romance. Kitty, Paulette Goddard and Ray Milland. These films would be great for today's writer's strike, huh? For ideas. Lady on a Train. Comedy, crime, thriller, and mystery. In New York, a woman who partially witnesses a killing from a train window seeks the aid of a crime novelist to solve the murder. Lady on a Train. Dina Durbin. Leave Her to Heaven. Drama and romance. A writer falls in love with a young socialite and they're soon married, but her obsessive love for him threatens to be the undoing of them both, as well as everyone around them. Leave Her to Heaven. Boy, these plots would be great for today's writer strikes. They should be going back in time and redo these movies. Mildred Pierce. Crime, drama, and thriller. A hard-working mother inches toward disaster as she divorces her husband and starts a successful restaurant business to support her spoiled daughter. Mildred Pierce. Molly and Me. Comedy and musical. A vivacious actress needing work becomes a housekeeper for a crusty retired politician and gives his life the shaking up that it needs. Molly and Me. Comedy and musical. Next up we have is Murder, He Says. Comedy and mystery. Professional pollster Pete Marshall gets more than he bargained for when he heads deep into the Ozarks to investigate the disappearance of several of his colleagues. Murder, He Says. Featuring Fred McMurray. You know Fred McMurray from My Three Sons. The Naughty 90s featuring the legendary Abbott and Costello. Comedy, when their captain is swindled out of his riverboat by a trio of gamblers, stage show star Abbott and his bumbling sidekick Costello must put things right. Abbott and Costello in the Naughty 90s. Objective Burma featuring Errol Flynn. Action, adventure, and drama. A platoon of special ops are tasked to parachute into the remote Burmese jungle and destroy a strategic Japanese radar station. But getting out isn't as easy. Objective Burma. Our Vines Have Tender Grapes. Drama and family. A Norwegian farmer lovingly raises his daughter in rural World War II era Benson Junction, Wisconsin. Our Vines Have Tender Grapes. Edward G. Robinson and Margaret O'Brien. Pardon My Past. An ex-GI wants to open a mink farm in Wisconsin, but is mistaken for a look-alike gambler who owes a lot of money. Pardon My Past. Action, comedy, and romance. Featuring the legendary Fred McMurray. So you know it's going to be funny. The Picture of Dorian Gray. I've always been fascinated by The Picture of Dorian Gray. A corrupt young man somehow keeps his youthful beauty, but a special painting gradually reveals his inner ugliness to all. He never ages. In the painting he does, but in real life he doesn't. The Pictures of Dorian Gray. Tarzan and the Amazons. Action adventure. A group of archaeologists ask Tarzan to help them find an ancient city in a hidden valley of women. He refuses, but boy is tricked into doing the job. Tarzan and the Amazons. Next up we have is Pride of the Marines. John Garfield, Parker, and Dane Clark. Marine hero Al Schmidt is blinded in battle and returns home to be rehabilitated. He readjusts to his civilian life with the help of his soon-to-be wife. Pride of the Marines. Pursuit to Algiers, adventure, crime, and mystery. Holmes is recruited to escort the heir to a European throne safely back to his homeland after his father's assassination. Pursuit to Algiers. Roughly speaking, comedy, drama, and romance. In 1902, enterprising Louise Randall is determined to succeed in a man's world. She enrolls at business college, but her plans for a career change when she falls in love with the handsome Rodney. Roughly speaking. Salome, Where She Danced. Adventure, drama, and musical. A famous Viennese ballerina flees Europe during the Austro-Prussian War and falls in love with an American bandit who looks like her deceased royal lover. Salome, Where She Danced. San Antonio, drama and western. Tough dance hall girl working for the local villain falls for a cowboy trying to clean up the town. Errol Flynn and Alexis Smith star in San Antonio. Notice all these films have to do with states and cities? Nevada, Dakota, Wisconsin. Saratoga Trunk, drama, romance, and western. An opportunistic Texas gambler and the exiled Creole daughter of an aristocratic family join forces to achieve justice from the society that has ostracized them both. Scarlet Street, crime, drama, thriller, and mystery. A man in midlife crisis befriends a young woman. Though her fiancé persuades her to con him out of their fortune they mistakenly assume he possesses. Scarlet Street, Edward G. Robinson, and Joan Benet. The House of Fear, crime, mystery, and thriller. Sherlock Holmes investigates a series of deaths at a castle with each foretold by the delivery of orange pipes to the victims. The House of Fear, Sherlock Holmes. Next up we have his Son of Lassie in glorious Technicolor. Laddie, son of Lassie, and his master are trapped in Norway during World War II. Has he inherited his mother's famous courage? Son of Lassie. Family adventure drama. Everybody loves Lassie. Spellbound. Ingrid Bergman and Gregory Peck. Spellbound. A psychiatrist protects the identity of an amnesia patient accused of murder while attempting to recover his memory. Spellbound. Mystery and romance. Next up we have is State Affair, comedy, drama, and musical. Each member of the Freight Clan has his or her own reason for attending the annual Iowa State Fair. Comedy, drama, and musical. State Fair. Rodgers and Hammerstein State Fair in beautiful Technicolor. The Affairs of Susan, which maybe she's being all slutty in this movie. The Affairs of Susan. Susan is about to be married, but the wedding may get called off after her fiancé summons 3 former beaux. See, she was all slutty. Each reveals a different portrait of Susan. It's a comedy, drama, and romance. The Affairs of Susan. The Corn is Green with Betty Davis. Drama. A school teacher becomes the mentor of a talented young miner and seeks to get him into a university. The Corn is Green. These titles are weird. Aren't these titles weird? Next up we have The Picture of Dorian Gray. A corrupt young man somehow keeps his youthful beauty, but a special painting gradually reveals his inner ugliness of it all. I think I may have just covered this earlier, but if I did, we'll go ahead and repeat it. The Picture of Dorian Gray is a great premise. The guy never ages, except if you destroy his painting, he dies. The Seventh Veil. A concert pianist with amnesia fights to regain her memory. The Seventh Veil. James Mason and Ann Todd. Drama and musical. This is a great movie. The Seventh Veil. Next up, we have a horror and thriller and mystery. The Body Snatcher. A ruthless doctor and his young prize student find themselves continually harassed by their murderous supplier of illegal cadavers. Boris Karloff in The Body Snatcher. Look at the fingers. See the fingers? The Dolly Sisters, Betty Grable, John Payne, and June Haber. Drama and musical. Two sisters from Hungary become famous entertainers in the early 1900s. Fictionalized biography with lots of songs. I hated musicals as a kid, now I appreciate them being older. The Horn Blows at Midnight. Comedy, fantasy, and musical. A trumpet player in a radio orchestra falls asleep during a commercial and dreams he's Nathaniel, an angel deputized to blow the last trumpet at exactly midnight on Earth. The Horn Blows at Midnight. The Lost Weekend, featuring Ray Milland and Jane Wyman. The desperate life of a chronic alcoholic is followed through a 4-day drinking bout. The Lost Weekend. This movie is powerful, and if you know about alcoholism, it's a very accurate portrayal. The Valley of Decision. Drama and romance. An Irish maid falls for the son of her wealthy boss, though their disapproving fathers and a bitter strike at the steel mill complicate matters. Greer Garrison and Gregory Peck, Valley of the Decision. The Woman in Green. Crime, drama, mystery, and thriller. Sherlock Holmes investigates when young women around London turn up murdered, each with a finger severed. Scotland Yard will never be the same. The Woman in Green. Who did it? You need to watch the movie to find out. I don't give out spoilers here, okay? The Clock. Comedy, drama, and romance. In 1945, during a 48-hour leave, a soldier accidentally meets a girl at Pennsylvania Station and spends his leave with her, eventually falling in love with the lovely New Yorker. The Clock. They Were Expendable. Drama and war. A Navy commander fights to prove the battle worthiness of the PT boat at the start of World War II. Robert Montgomery, John Wayne, and Donna Reed. They Were Expendable. Awesome movie. Awesome movie. The Thin Man Goes Home. Comedy, crime, thriller, and mystery. Nick and Nora head to Nick's hometown of Sycamore Springs to spend some time with his parents. His father, a prominent local physician, was always a bit disappointed with Nick's choice of profession. The Thin Man Goes Home. Thunderhead, Son of Flicka. Action, drama, and family. A young boy tries to train Thunderhead, a beautiful white colt, and the son of his beloved Flicka, to be a champion racehorse. Remember My Friend Flicka? This is Thunderhead, Son of Flicka. Tonight and Every Night. Drama, musical, and family. The theater in which this film is set was called The Windmill, and performers there refused to be deterred by the Blitz that was leveling much of London at the time. Tonight and Every Night. Remember, they were getting blitzed in the war. Weekend at the Waldorf. Comedy, drama, and musical. The misadventure of a group of diverse guests at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Manhattan. Weekend at the Waldorf. Next up we have is The Wicked Lady. Adventure and drama and mystery. A noblewoman begins to lead a dangerous double life in order to alleviate her boredom. The Wicked Lady. Mason. James Mason. Next up we have is Without Love. Comedy, romance, and family. In Washington, D.C. during World War II, Jamie Rowan enters into a loveless marriage with scientist Pat Jameson and becomes his assistant. Struggles bring them closer together. Without Love. Next up we have is Wonder Man. Comedy, fantasy, and musical. After being murdered by gangsters, an exuberant nightclub entertainer returns as a ghost to persuade his meek twin brother to help bring his killer to justice. Wonder Man, featuring Danny Kaye. Lastly, we have Ziegfeld Follies, comedy musical. The late great impresario Florence Ziegfeld Jr. looks down from heaven and ordains a new revue in his grand old style. Ziegfeld Follies. Those were the best movies of 1945. Those were the movies that we loved. from 1945. If there are any movies that I may have forgotten or that weren't part of this list, be sure to let me know what they were. Put them down in the comment section. Maybe I can do a video on that or address those movies that maybe I missed. These lists are not all inclusive. They just happen to be the best movies in that year. All right, I'm Tony. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, leave them below. What do you think about the movies of 1945? Thank you for joining me here at Yesteryear and Today, and I'll see you all in the next video.